Okay, you guys, I will always try to be as transparent as possible on the internet because I feel that a lot of influencers are editing and doing all these other things. So I want you guys to learn about functional health, functional nutrition, and just health education in general. So I want to show you, I am about a year and a month off of birth control. I was on birth control for 16 years. It has taken the entire year for me to get to consistent 26-day cycles, and it's starting to get predictable. I also came out of having a ton of gut issues, but also skin issues, which I'll talk about in a second, that were absolutely correlated with the birth control. And I want you guys to understand that connection, especially if you are dealing with it too. So for literally 2 years, I was working 2 jobs. I was running my business and I also worked in medical device. I was on planes all over the place, probably 4 planes a week and different ORs all over the country. So the stress was really, really high. And on top of that, I was on the birth control, I was on spironolactone, and we know that there's evidence that that disrupts gut lining, and the stress is going to lower stomach acid. It's going to lower your digestive enzymes. We are not having an overall good environment with the gut. And therefore it started to show up in my skin, and I honestly had low cholesterol, I had low cellular resilience, and you would see it. I'm gonna post a picture. I was getting this like perioral dermatitis. I thought it was a parasite. I've talked about this before on my Instagram, and it really came down to me going back into my gut. I had a Klebsiella infection. I did have a parasite, and also though hormones were just completely bottomed out from the birth control. And so what was interesting was that it's not this deep cystic acne that I was expecting that I had when I was a kid. It was like this rashiness around my mouth, and it didn't really make sense. Now, when I do get a breakout, you guys can kind of see it here. It doesn't really form necessarily to a whitehead. I know that kind of looks like it, but it's really not a whitehead. It's just kind of like lymphatic acne in my mind. And I'm not an esthetician, just dealt with my skin a lot. And when I do go get a facial, I have them do lymphatics on my face, and any of these little guys clear up within 2 days. So I want you guys to think about Chinese and functional medicine. And usually they say the skin mirrors the liver. And in Chinese medicine, they usually tie skin to liver and spleen. And so I'm hoping to dive down into more Chinese medicine in the next year here. That's on my bucket list, to work one-on-one with a Chinese medicine doctor as far as mentorship. But I really have focused on the gut health, liver health. And I do think it's really interesting that I see this during luteal phase. And then after luteal phase, I'll post in a few days. We'll see how the skin gets better. These things seem to go away, but they have lessened each month. I have like 1, 2, 3. And I'm not gonna lie, I tried to eat dairy this weekend, where on a previous gut test, I was having poor dairy tolerance, and I was having on a food intolerance test, the MRT, I was having high dairy sensitivity. So again, your liver is processing food, medications, alcohol, whatever you're coming in contact with. And so the liver and the lymph start to get backed up, that's going to show in your skin. And so I still absolutely have work to do, but I want you guys to think about making this connection. Same with this guy. It really is just kind of like this fluidy bump. It's not necessarily a whitehead or a blackhead. It doesn't feel like a deep cystic zit. So I was trying to get in for lymphatic massage and a facial, but I couldn't this week. So I'm just kind of doing it on myself, and we will see how it is in a few days.